I am not going to be able to do this in under 5 minutes. Hello, my name is Alex Does F1 Stuff and welcome to my speed review for round number 9 for the Tuscan Grand Prix around the circuit of Mugello. So for those that are new to my speed review series, I am aiming to run down all of practice, all of qualifying and the good and juicy bits in the race in a quick a time as possible. The last few have been under 5 minutes, however this one no. No, I don't think it's going to be under 5 minutes. But without further ado, we will begin the review now. And we start with practice 1, which sees Valtteri Bottas claim top spot from Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc P3, from Lewis Hamilton half a second down from his teammate, with Gasly, the Monza master, in P5. Then it is Ocon, Kvyat, Norris, Albon, Ricciardo, Raikkonen, Grosjean, Vettel, Giovinazzi, Sainz, Russell, Magnussen, the 2 Racing Points down in 18th and 19th, and Latifi last. And practice 2, not much else happened. The 2 Mercedes are in front with Bottas once again leading, then the 2 Red Bulls, the 2 Renaults, then it's Perez, Gasly still going strong, then Raikkonen in front of Leclerc, Stroll, Vettel, the 2 McLarens still having a crap day, then Kvyat, Russell, Giovinazzi, Latifi and the 2 Haas cars. But it was Lando Norris who red flagged the session after a small little off. And then we had to head to practice 3, the very first time that Valtteri Bottas has led all 3 practice sessions ahead of a Grand Prix weekend. From Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton, Stroll, Gasly still inside the top 10. Then Perez, Leclerc, Albon, Kvyat, Grosjean, Ocon, Sainz, the 2 Alfa Romeos, Magnussen, Latifi massively in front of Russell, who failed to set a time due to a brake issue. And with practice out of the way, it is qualifying, and in Q1 we see Gasly knocked out, the Monza master knocked out in P16, Giovinazzi as well, with Russell having an off, but still going faster than Latifi on this lap. Latifi down in P19, and for the second time in 3 races, Magnussen is last. And then we head to Q2, which sees Norris knocked out for the first time this year and for the first time in the last 16 races. Danny Kvyat is also knocked out, with Kimi Raikkonen in front of Vettel and Grosjean P15. And finally, Q3. It is once again a Lewis Hamilton pole position number 95. Then it is Bottas, who was stopped getting pole position by Esteban Ocon, who had a spin, but it is Max Verstappen 3rd, then Albon, Leclerc a stellar P5, Perez, Stroll, Ricciardo, Sainz and Ocon spinning. And with qualifying all done and dusted, we head to the race. It is won by Lewis Hamilton from Valtteri Bottas, with Alex Albon taking his first ever podium. However, it was mad, it was manic. Daniel Ricciardo P4, then Sergio Perez, Norris, Kvyat, Leclerc, Raikkonen scoring his first points of the season, and then Vettel are your top 10. There was a first lap incident, the first lap incident of the season between multiple cars, which saw Max Verstappen retire. Then shortly after the safety car period, there was another massive shunt in which 4 cars were involved, including Sainz, Magnussen, Giovinazzi and Latifi. There was Grosjean getting involved, sort of caused by the late going Valtteri Bottas, but then equally the cars behind going when they shouldn't have gone. Ensued after this red flag period was a sort of boring processional period, but there was then another red flag, a second red flag from Lance Stroll, who crashed at Ariabata 2 at about 170 kilometers an hour, with the marshals ripping open that racing point to spray it or to put out the fire, as it was massively on fire. And after that, it was just a sprint race to the end, which Lewis Hamilton managed to fend off Valtteri Bottas, with Albon getting past Ricciardo for his first ever F1 podium. And finally, a look at the Drivers' Championships. Lewis Hamilton still at the top, 55 points clear now. Max Verstappen, after failing to score for the second race in a row, sat currently P3 still. Norris P4, then Albon, Stroll, Ricciardo, Leclerc, Perez and Gasly are your top 10, with Mercedes taking an even bigger step forward in the constructors. 152 points, McLaren third, then Racing Point, Renault, Ferrari, AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo doubling their point score, then Haas and Williams. And a little visual representation of said data. Hamilton buggering off into the distance, then it's Valtteri Bottas moving away now from the no point scoring Max Verstappen, and the midfield fight is as close as ever. And in the constructors, once again, Mercedes pulling away so much from Red Bull, who are sort of falling back to that midfield fight, which again is as close as ever. And I wasn't timing it on my phone, so I have no idea. How long have I been recording for? 6 minutes. Hopefully it wasn't 6 minutes. It may have been just over 5. I don't know. Well, that was one hectic, bonkers Tuscan Grand Prix. And if that is just a one-off, yes, that's fine. That is more than okay. Whereas if it was a really boring processional race, then it would have been a bit annoying that it was just a one-off. But I will be making a much longer race weekend review, closer to 35 to 40 minutes about this race. If you want to go watch that, that should hopefully be out tomorrow on the Monday, whereas this will come out on Sunday. And I will also be tweeting pictures of the graphs for the Formula 1.5 Championship, excluding Mercedes and Verstappen, and then shuffling everybody else up. And they will also be included in my race weekend review right at the very end, as I don't want to clog it up in my speed review. But that is all I've got for you today, guys. I hope you have enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next video with whatever and whenever I decide to make it. I'll see you guys then.